Hey, Dr. Kat here with Embrace Her and Thrive. We are working on a series of From Roots to Results. I got my little green buddies here with me, okay? Always got to have your emotional support. This is a part of my community right here. Roots to Results is focused on how your family patterns that you learned impact all areas of your life. And we're talking about the career you choose, the amount of money you make, how much you think you can or cannot save, the romantic relationship you have, the way you relate to your family, whether you know how to say yes or no, if you're overworked at work and you're that I can do it all woman, it's all related, all connected. Okay, check out the last video. I talk about that more. Today, we're going to focus on how it shows up in your relationships, especially in romance. So I don't always hyper focus on only romantic relationships, but today you have more than enough room to focus on that. All right. So I got some questions I'm going to pose to you today. I got my notes because I have to stay centered and focused. For any of you creative people out there who love to help people, you know your brain can go over here, over there, and just see all the connections. So this helps me to stay grounded so that you know what I'm talking about. Okay? All right. I do this live as far as one take. I don't edit it so that you can see who I am, what I'm really like. If you're going to work with me, this is what you get, okay? I'm very upfront, direct, and I can be compassionate, but I have been told I'm pretty bold and direct, okay? Because I want to get you results. I want you to grow, okay? So I got you, boo-boo. I got you. All right. So what we're going to focus on today is the question. This is your question to focus on. Are you loving from your wounds or your sense of wholeness? Wholeness does not mean fixed. There's nothing wrong with you or broken. You just have patterns that don't work out for you. Wholeness means that you embrace all of you, that you know, I got some quirks and I got some funny habits, but I'm lovable. I love me. I'm good, right? And the people you surround yourself with, they know it. They know how you are. They know who you are. And they're good with that too, right? Because we don't keep haters in our circle. We don't keep them close to the chest, okay? You just learn from that. I'm still learning, by the way. I just got through having a conversation with somebody about people who don't like my style, and they still can smile in your face. And how I was like, oh, I like when people like me. It just feels easier. And that's my inner kid. She doesn't like when people don't like her because I have a history of being bullied. So when that little kid sees somebody doesn't like her, I see my little boo-booies supporting me. When she sees that someone doesn't like her, she gets really sad. So I help her through that now. So we're going to show you how to do that so that you don't have to always think that your partner or your husband or your wife is supposed to be doing this heavy lifting for you all the time. Okay? So are you loving from your wounds or your wholeness? Now hold that. Hold that in the back there. Okay? So did you know that what you think is chemistry, a lot of times in dating, whether it's someone you've been with for years or somebody new, is familiarity. The brain loves patterns. I coach people in dating often. And what I do is I help you see how you are just reliving patterns because the body's built to heal. It loves to go toward what hurts so that you can create a new story. A lot of times chemistry is not passion. It's just patterns. And it just becomes more fun when you know how to date and you know how to do it well. So let's look at the blueprint of love. Okay. Most of us learn how to love and date by watching, not by feeling safe. Even if you look at the Disney movies, a lot of times these women have to go through trauma to meet the love of their life. Who wants to go through all that? You really don't want to, honey. That's not the way. And it doesn't program you to trust that partner and to feel comfortable with them. Now, are you going to go through ups and downs? Of course you are. And that's why I do a lot of coping skills and a lot of relationship skills in other videos. We're going to talk about a few here today on how to respond to these patterns, but what I've taught before can also be used. So let's look at how love could have been expressed before, when you were younger in childhood. These are some of the ways that many people learn what love is. So love can look like earning attention, staying small, be quiet, right? Fixing chaos, hiding parts of yourself, and not expressing who you really are to make sure you don't get in the way too much. And that turns into your blueprint for adult relationships, okay? And this can be even after you moved on from the last relationship, or you don't even have to talk to your family anymore. You can still have those patterns. What you may notice is your inner child will want what she's never had. So what you'll have is this stress of trying to be seen and heard and loved from your partner. And because they are a lot like the people that you grew up with, they're going to miss the mark more than they're going to catch it. And that's not any fault of the people that you grew up with in your family, your caretakers, the cousin down the street that helped raise you, or Big Mama's house, wherever you were, right? It's just they just don't know. They don't know how to have these kinds of relationships. They're doing the best they can with what they've got. And you don't have to rationalize this for your inner kid. I don't rationalize nothing for my inner kid. She can feel however she needs to feel, and I will help her. You got to meet that part of you where she is, okay? All right. So let's look at how that turns into how you attach. In my family, attachment looks a lot like a lot of come here. But as soon as you do a little thing that we don't like, you got to go. You got to go. We got to kick you out the house, go through a bunch of drama, pack your bags, and then you come back. Okay. When I say you come back, it's a lot of like, let me control so I can feel safe. But we got a lot of broken relationships. Now, my mother was one of the most loving people you could have ever met when she was alive. She was such a sweetheart. And she used to run from relationships like nobody. She ran better than anybody you would ever know. And I didn't realize she was doing that until after I got older. I'm like, oh, that's why we moved so much. Okay. So it was very much avoidant. Like, nope, not dealing with that anymore. Nope. So I had to learn how to have a secure attachment with myself. And then that helped me to have it with my partner. And he's a sweetheart. That's my little snuggles. So let's talk about attachment. When your needs weren't met consistently, your needs when you're younger, okay, that also can happen now. If they're not met consistently, you may have learned to chase love, which can create anxiety. They call it an anxious attachment, or run from it. That's avoidant. A lot of people have a combination of both, right? So you're either having love chase you, or you're chasing it, or you're avoiding it, okay? The both happen so naturally. And what naturally occurs when you chase love, the other person will naturally back up. Because what happens when you chase someone? They start running, okay? If you avoid, like, oh, I don't like them, they're not handsome enough, they don't got the 666 going, if you know what that is, let everybody else know, they can't come over here. And what they'll do is they'll pursue more, or if they have a rejection sensitivity, they'll reject you back, okay? These are all natural phenomena. Once you get the hang of it, you'll start to see what's happening, and you'll be much better at managing it and maneuvering it, okay? So you get into this push-pull dance, and it's exhausting. Here, we just embrace. I have the name like that for a reason, okay? Now, we also have boundaries. Boundaries is a big part of the process. But I want you to know that you're accepted here, you're embraced here, and that we don't do what's familiar. We do what's going to get you to the place you want to go to next. And that may be through some hard emotional work and some digging, and then some rewiring and using new patterns, even though you feel weird. I always say it's better to feel weird than to feel angry, disappointed, frustrated, alone, lonely, and broke. Just do the weird, honey. Do the weird. Okay? So we're not doing no chaos anymore. You want to date people that feel like home. So Just so you know, before I move on to my next piece, healing the patterns, okay? Safety can feel boring. When I first started dating in a healthy way, I was like, this is so boring. It is. It can be super boring. Mainly because your body's not going through that chaos like this. You're not having to wonder what's happening, wonder where you're going, wonder what he's doing. It's so peaceful that it can feel boring. So once I got past dating someone who was boring but not stimulating enough, I decided to keep going. And what I found is my partner is a nut job, okay? A ball of fun. He has so much energy. I'm very zen. If you didn't know that, I'm not gonna sit here and like dance around for y'all, doing all that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Very zen, but that man, listen. But it's still safe and it's very calm in a lot of moments. It has peace, but we play a lot. I'm very sarcastic. I play a lot. He's very messy. I can be neat and we can mess with the house if we need to. We go do new things. I try healthy baking. He tells me it's gross. Listen, I'm a cook. I'm not a baker yet. I always say yet, okay? But I haven't made an edible cookie yet. But that man be like, Katrina, please don't make me try this cookie. And I'm like, you better try this cookie, okay? We being healthy, right? But if you don't want to try it, he's just not going to try it, right? My inner kid wants him to try it because she likes to see him make the faces. But if I know he really doesn't want to, it's freedom, right? I got to make sure he feels safe and he feels seen too. He has a right to say no and yes to me. So you got to find ways to find that inner kid in each other. Make the relationship safe and fun, okay? Not traumatic, dramatic, and chaotic, okay? None of that. None of that. We're not doing that. So let's look at this. The healing starts when you stop trying to get your partner to heal your parent wound or your caretaker wound, or whoever did not meet your need. It could be a teacher who said something that was really destructive. Love from wholeness starts with choosing safety, not drama. Feel weird, be bored. That's how you know you're going in a good direction. Feel weird, be bored. Sometimes you'll be anxious. Let that stuff out. It's like cleaning out an old wound, okay? Here's some questions to ask yourself. Box breathing, if you don't know what that is, 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. That's a good way to get your brain to go from activated and stressed to calm. That's the front, calm and organizing stuff, okay? Do box breathing when you feel stressed. There's a coping skill, okay? Coping skills just help you cope, but you want to build a life that you don't have to cope through so much, all right? Another one is taking a time out. If you need a time out, tell your partner, I need 15 minutes. If you don't have a healthy partner right now, it's okay. Just at least practice the best you can. I need 10 minutes. They may say, no, you're going to fix this right now. Okay. I'm not going to really be functioning. I'm not going to be the best person for you. I'm not ready. I can't think. I'm not calm enough. Let them know why you need the break. And when you say 10 or 15 minutes, you have to go back and let them know if you're ready yet and do it again. A lot of back and forth, a lot of timeouts. But within that 24 hours, you need to give each other some conversation of some sort about what happened, okay? A lot of times our feelings are hurt or we're upset because of boundaries that we did not know that we needed to say to someone, or we told them what the boundary is and they still violated it, okay? I go over that a lot. The proper way to use boundaries, because a lot of people don't use them the way they're meant to be used. All right. So here's 3 questions you can ask yourself in addition to taking over your nervous system with that box breathing or taking your time out. Also, with the timeout, remember, you cannot tell anybody else to take a timeout. You have to only take your own. You speak for yourself, not for somebody else's feelings. The 3 questions. First one, does this love add peace or take it? Does it add peace or take it away? And that is their problem. This is what they bring out in me. This is what I haven't healed through yet. Am I ready to work through this right now? Okay. Does this love add peace or take it? Am I ready to grow through this right now or not? Do I feel safe being myself here? Based on the way that I respond to that person, do I feel safe being myself? Right? Because it's all about how you respond to them. They're just showing you where you are and what you attract. Third question. Am I giving from overflow or from fear? That's a big one with women. You want to give from overflow. I used to try and do these videos on Saturdays. Child, let me tell you how I never loved recording on Saturdays. I still don't. I could have nothing on my calendar, and I was like, what is the problem? And it was because Saturdays was mine. It was my day to fill my cup. I don't have overflow until about Monday. So I was like, I'll just record on Monday. But it took me like 2 years to figure that out. Just because you're good at something does not mean you'll always see it for yourself. Okay? Because all of us have a blind spot that's actually pretty natural, which is why you got to have community to keep you aware. All right? So let's consider this. Healing will never mean that you don't want connection. If you are a woman who says, I prefer to be by myself, I don't need nobody, I don't need nothing, honey, that's pain. That's pain. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with me time. But if you never want to connect with people, that's not actually a healthy, safe place that you're inhabiting. I'm not going to judge you. If you need some years off because life has been hard, take the time. But just know what pain looks like and what health and healing look like. Everybody has their own style. You don't always have to have people around you. But the way you say things, the energy you have, and the reason you say it has a lot to do with how you're doing things. We are not built to not want connection, but we do sometimes need a timeout. And that can take a year, 2, 3 for some people. Generally, you're not going to stop wanting connection. What you will want is love without abandoning yourself. Do not abandon yourself, honey. Never abandon yourself. And if you do, have compassion. Have compassion that you forgot to bring yourself along. It's fine. It happens to all of us. Grow through it. Grow naturally. It's very winding, has its messy days. But if you don't practice and you don't take chances and you don't get accustomed to feeling weird and feeling stressed about positive changes, you are not going to get to new places. So keep practicing. Keep trying things. Something is better than nothing. But if you really need someone to coach you through or work through it, get someone that you trust or that you think can really be good for you. Okay? They can always help fine-tune your voice. All right. So that is romantic relationships. Okay, from roots to results, and how you can work through finding the kind of relationship you want. First, inside out, but we talked about even with other people today. Ask yourself these questions we talked about. All right. If this resonates with you, download the Relationship Reflection Worksheet that I created. Yes, I created a worksheet for this one because I want you to see how your relationship patterns go back to your roots, okay? So that you can start rewriting them for that wholeness, which is the result. When you love from your healed self, you attract a love that feels like home, okay? You don't want to be in survival. You want to be home. So make your home feel the way you want it to. Make it the colors that you want it to be. Create the home that matters to you. And then when you're ready, share it with people that you can trust. All right? Dr. Kat here, as always, sending love and hugs. And I hope that you are growing through toward embracing her and thriving. See you later.